Hey everybody!
Hey.
Back. Okay, so we're in our pajamas today.
I know.
We on chill mode. We're in chill mode. And I got some Twizzlers for you. You know why? Because this right here,
I don't like Twizzlers.
she's from another planet. She don't like Twizzlers. That's what happened when you come down here from Houston. You don't like Twizzlers. This is called friendship, right? And I'm very goofy. And well, almost don't you lay a hand on my butterfingers. That's not butterfingers. But
Oh, hot Twizzlers.
see, I'm myself, 100% goofy with her. And and when I have a bad day, I can call her and she'll talk to me, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because we picked each other as friends. Now, the topic of the day for all you lifeies out there is feeling invisible in a crowded room full of friends that picked you. I think I spit a little bit.
Say it, don't spray it.
Let me say it again. Feeling invisible in a crowded room of friends
That's some real shit.
that picked you. And I think that this is important because in our era right now, when we have social media, nobody wants to show their real self.
Nope.
Nobody wants to show the struggle, the hard times. See, look, I spit. There's Twizzlers something right there.
That's what I like.
Real times. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. Nobody wants to show their real self. And when you don't show your real self, you're trying to prove and appease and please the people that are around you that don't know you.
In an unhealthy way.
In an unhealthy way. And you're not being yourself. So when you're really going through something, you don't have anybody to talk to. Because the friends that you picked, they don't go through that. And you probably, for the most part, do not want them to see that side of you. Or you would have showed that in the first place. You would have showed yourself in your true skin, in your true colors, from jump. Right? I feel that way.
Why do people do that? Why do you think people
Do what?
like when they meet someone not put up or not put out their true selves? Like, because it starts with the initial interaction. Like, you have to have not been yourself when you are first introduced to someone to get this person that like latches onto you thinking like, oh yeah, you know, this my
When
girl.
you're down, you want
Right.
that life. And you know you don't eat sushi. If you know you don't eat sushi, but you hanging out with a bunch of sushi eaters, I'm like, yes, I just want a California roll. And they say, stop eating that fake stuff. Get the real stuff. And you're just like, in your heart, you know you're no sushi eater. And now you got to eat like raw salmon and raw the other stuff. And you, But I think that it's fear of rejection. You fear that who you are is not enough. Who you are and what you represent is not acceptable. And nobody wants to be rejected. No. And I think that in this day and age,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
Most people are afraid to come as you are. But if God asks you to come as you are, and that's all that's required, then anybody that asks you to do something outside of that, it's really not that important. And that's the next thing I said the last time is, looking for validation outside of yourself. It really is a lack of self-confidence and self-love and self-acceptance. You have to be who you are. And let me tell you, from my own personal experience, I don't necessarily feel rejection. I'm really, really private. But I pick my friends and I pick them, as carefully as possible. I have been around some people who I feel like I can't really be myself with, or I can't open up to. And that's a lonely life.
Yes.
It's a lonely way to be.
Oh, yes.
Wait.
Yeah. Finish. Go
I
ahead.
cannot. Real life happens to all of us. Real life happens, and I need real friends for real life. when things happen in my day to day, I'm not running to social media. I'm not running to my associates. I'm going to my real friends. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
Say it.
I'm sitting here like just thinking about, especially my time during my 20s, where I had all these friends. I'm gonna say I don't want to put it in air quotes, like they weren't like nice or good to me per se, but these were people that most of them wouldn't know if I was going through something if you paid them to know. Like they wouldn't, because I would not divulge that information. And from jump, as you were like explain, that's why I asked you why, because I'm like, I went through a period where I was very shielded because I didn't want to be judged. Like, I didn't want your judgment. Like, don't project your judgment onto me.
Judgment too.
And so it wasn't until like my late 20s, early 30s that I started to open up a little, because I am naturally private, but that is unhealthy when you can't communicate when you're stressed about something to someone. Like, you can't communicate when something's going on in your life. That becomes unhealthy after a while, because you keep it all bottled in. You're not talking to anybody about it.
I agree. And the Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. It's not good for you to be by yourself. And I really think that a lot of the depression that people experience is because they feel like they have no one. A lot of my girls that I work with who are on suicide watch, one of the biggest things that I notice in patterns is that they say, I'm alone. I feel alone. I have nobody to talk to. I have no one that understands what I'm going through, and I don't want to be judged. Or I don't want to share this because, they may not want to be friends with me if they knew this about me.
Exactly.
Right? Then they're not your friends. You know what I mean? And I think that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like cut everybody off, but I would say compartmentalize.
Yeah, that's a good way to
these
put it.
people are just for going out to eat and drinks, and you'll turn up. and then you have like your really good friends that you talk to about any and everything, but you should have somebody.
Yeah.
Really look at your circle. Really look at it. Really look at it. And I'm going to say this. I say it about the spouse too. I want I know my real friends because they are the people that I will call when my son is in the hospital. They're the people that will stand there and be with me when I bury my parents. If you look at your circle and you have a bunch of people that you wouldn't call and let them know that you have an illness or that you're having like financial issues, and I know that can be really private and really hard, but I'm telling you, I've been hungry. I've lived in my car, and I know what it feels like when you don't have anybody that you can call or anybody that you can talk to. It's really sad, and you will really sit in a space dying inside, surrounded by people chatting with you and talking about nothing that matters to you.
Feel invisible.
You feel invisible. So, and that's no way to live. So that's an action item. I really want you guys to really look at that. There's so much going on in the world today. It really is. And sometimes people that you think are supporting you and friends with you, but you're not really talking to, they're not for you. And they shouldn't be in your inner circle.
And it's not easy to make those adjustments.
But you can do it. That's a part of yourself. That's a part of your life journey.
Yeah.
That's a part of your life journey. You need to do that with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah.
Go through it and look what type of support, and we said that before, what type of support do I need and what type of support do I give? Because I'm going to tell you, and here's the thing, you can't even get upset with your circle because they picked you based off of what you represented at the time.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Exactly.
If that's not who you really are, you're selling them a lie.
Yeah.
And they have become friends with a lie, with a liar.
An imposter.
An imposter. Okay? Wait, something's in my eye because, you know, I got individual lashes. Don't make But I'm serious when I say not having somebody to talk to when you're feeling down can lead to a serious dive down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And you will quietly die in silence. And you're surrounded by people who don't understand you and who don't get you. And you won't share because they don't know you.
Think about celebrities or people that have been influential that have committed suicide, right? And people are like, oh my God, they have all this money. They
have all these people around them.
And still, they were unhappy inside. They suffered inside.
And they spoke to no one. And then you have people say, I never knew that they were going through that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I never knew that they were feeling that way or experiencing that. And they could have shared with me. Maybe you felt that way because you picked them as their friend. You picked them as your friend.
Yeah.
But they didn't necessarily pick you to be in that close-knit circle. Okay?
And that's draining too. Like, even thinking about it on the inverse, when you have somebody, if you don't have somebody that you can kind of divulge, you know, information to, but yet someone else is dumping all their...
God. Yeah, you become the emotional punching bag for other people.
So that's...
Everybody needs...
That's dangerous.
What do you call it? A sounding board. A little bit. But it has to be a give and take. And I'm telling you, for somebody who it is my job to listen to people and for them to tell me things every day, all day, from light things to really, really heavy things. So for me, choosing friends that have experienced a little bit of life, choosing my friends that have compassion and that are empathetic, that are non-judgmental, supportive, slow to anger, quick to forgive. These are the characteristics that I feel are important for me to have. And I've made mistakes, and I've picked people that I brought close to me, and they weren't meant to be in the position that I put them in. That happens. Take them down, remove them, replace them. It's never too late to cut off the fat. Okay, you cut off the dead leaves, and then you have the opportunity for roses to grow, and then you can replace them with things that are fruitful for your spirit, for your emotional well-being, for your mental well-being. Right? I think it's so important. What's your action item?
For people to take the time to reevaluate or to evaluate, who are the people in your life
who you around? Yes,
that is truly your friends. Like, what does it mean for someone to be your friend? And if you don't have anyone that's in your, I'm gonna say, circle that meets those requirements, or those
your family too. Sorry, that
meets those family requirements, then you need to figure out how to compartmentalize them. I like that word you use, because sometimes you don't necessarily have to just rid them completely, especially if they're going off of what you've projected from the get-go. You know, it's like, okay, they're not a horrible friend, they're just not the friend that I need, like the friend that I need. Like, they're cool though, so we can go out and have tacos or something like that.
There's a Friday night key,
you know. But
there's a Las Vegas key. Okay?
You really have to assess, do you have someone that meets some of these attributes that Key was just mentioning? You know, someone who you can call when there's something dire that's going on. Someone that you feel you can call that will listen and be slow to anger and quick to forgive, that's not going to judge you. That
good advice from.
Yeah, you know, that you can just share things with, those things that you may not feel comfortable sharing with the world, but you know, I can call so-and-so, I can call Key and let her know that I'm going through X, Y, and Z, because I want to get it out, or I want to hear another perspective, or
an honest
perspective.
And truthful, you know, not sugar and shit. I say it all the time, and not sugarcoat it for you. life is too short.
Yeah.
Be around people that love you, know you. Okay? That's the best way you can pick.
Know you.
Because, we on this whole life matters thing. Loving yourself first, knowing yourself. Knowing yourself. When you know you and you know what you like, you know what you don't like, you have healthy boundaries, you set standards. You can set standards for relationships. Friends are relationships.
That's a relationship.
It's a relationship.
Give and take.
So you need healthy boundaries in those. And when you really know what your max is, what your standards are, share some of the same goals, then you go out and you pick friends that, I don't know, brain fart. You've been having those lately. You
pick friends that are a good match for you versus picking friends that aren't a good match for you.
And it dang it. I had something.
You had it ready.
I had it ready.
Yeah.
And I lost it. Right? But their goals and your goals, it has to be conducive. Or
aligned to some degree. Like it's not going to be the same, but it has to be aligned
to some degree, or it's just not going to work. It doesn't mean it has to be the exact same. They don't have to do the exact same thing that you do.
No, that's more.
But I'm telling you, listen to me and hear me from my heart. I promise you. Me as an entrepreneur, with the things that I love to do, goals I'm trying to set. I care about other people's life. I care about other people's feelings and what happens to them. My circle, you'll know their well-being matters to me. What happens to them matters to me. And you cannot be around people and call them your friends and all they do is take. And they don't give. And they don't care about yourself. I'm telling you, you will not grow. You will not grow.
And they will suck the life out of you.
It's a stumbling block. I promise. So really, really sit down. Look at your circle. Can you breathe? Or are you drowning in a pool full of unnecessary people? Really look at that. And throw yourself a life raft and get out.
It's never too late.
Nope. For your own self-care, mental health, emotional wellness, and spiritual well-being. Okay? Choose your friends.
That's good.
Choose your friends. Do not let people choose you by giving them a false representative of who you want them to think that you are. Okay? And that we got pajamas on, but we wrapping up. It's kind of serious, but we're gonna take it down a notch. We finish these Twizzlers and we about to go get some tacos.
Some real candy.
Get out of here. We're about to go get some tacos. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please leave your comments below and your feedback on what you think about this podcast. Thank you so much.
Bye.